Narrator 1.
Before the Revolutionary War, each new state had its own constitution, which gave people certain rights, such as freedom of speech, religion, and the press. After the war, the states joined together to set up a federal government under the Articles of Confederation, which were some basic rules for working together.
The Articles provided to be a weak system of government. The federal government only had the power to declare war and manage foreign affairs. Under the Articles, each state worked independently. Chaos erupted from the system.
Something had to be done, but the road ahead proved to be a bumpy one. While Americans were glad to be free of British rule, they were used to being sovereign and wanted to stay that way.
It was decided that the Articles of Confederation had to be revised, so each state except Rhode Island sent delegates. There were 55 to Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. George Washington was chosen president of the Confederation. The delegates decided that revising the Articles wouldn't work, so instead they agreed to write an entire new constitution.
The delegates debated for many months over the contents of the Constitution. Some states favored a strong central government, while there were those who opposed a strong central government for fear of a system similar to that of oppressive England. Meanwhile, large states felt they were entitled to more representation in Congress, while small states favored equal representation.
Writing a new constitution was not an easy chore. 3 months later, after a lot of debating and compromising, on September 13, 1787, the Constitution of the United States was finally accepted by the delegates, but their work was not done.
The founding fathers now had to get all the states to agree that this was a good document and that they should vote in favor of it. This was the first political question that faced Americans. 9 states had to vote for the Constitution for it to be accepted.
On December 3, 1787, Delaware was the first state to vote in favor of it. New Hampshire became the 9th state to accept the Constitution on June 21, 1787, ending government under the Articles of Confederation. It was not until May 29, 1790, that the last state, Rhode Island, finally accepted the Constitution.
Delaware.
The state of Delaware ratifies the United States Constitution.
Georgia.
The state of Georgia proudly ratifies the Constitution of the United States.
New Jersey.
The state of New Jersey proudly ratifies the Constitution of the United States.
Pennsylvania.
The state of Pennsylvania ratifies the Constitution.
Connecticut.
Connecticut ratifies.
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts ratifies.
Maryland.
Maryland ratifies.
South Carolina.
South Carolina ratifies.
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire ratifies.
Did we make it, James? Did 9 states ratify the Constitution?
Yes, George. We have ratified the Constitution of the United States of America.
Thank heavens.
The heavens had nothing to do with it, George. Thank the citizens of this great country of ours. The Constitution of the United States of America. It's the thing that holds us together and keeps us from falling apart. The Declaration's the soul of the Constitution.
chief of the army during the Revolutionary War. I tried to make my men swear allegiance to the United States. I started with my troops from New Jersey.
No to the United States? Never. We are citizens of New Jersey, General Washington.
New Jersey is our country, sir. New Jersey is not a country. I must admit that I almost despaired of our ever becoming united.
I never doubted that we would.
James Madison, that is hogwash! You were so nervous you were 11 days early to the Constitutional Convention!
Benjamin Franklin knew very well that I was early because I was so
That James Madison, I declare he's no bigger than a half bar of soap!
But he does have a lot of spirit.
George Washington is so tall, he certainly stands out in the crowd.
Doesn't have a lot to say for himself, though, does he? On the other hand, Benjamin Franklin never stops talking. Well, Franklin's all of 82. He has a lot to say. Why is Alexander Hamilton from New York here? Good to see you. Hello, Ben. Delighted to be here. You cannot go on being linked by these loose articles of confederation. We need a strong central government. There's another man who never stops talking. Alexander Hamilton from New York. But he's smart, and I think he's right. There has to be some sort of change. Since the war, things have been going downhill. The British still have forts in the West. Don't they know they lost the war?
But there's nothing we can do about it. The army hasn't been paid in months, and the men are just picking up and going home.
That's because nobody wants to pay taxes. And nobody has to. There's nobody to collect them.
What does it matter? Our money is worthless anyway. States are printing their own.
Our ships are being sunk by pirates. Americans are being captured. States are fighting with each other.
Welcome, Yankee.
Lousy Pennsylvania Buckets!
Stop it! Something must be done.
We've got to be one people. We've got to be one country. We've got to be one nation. If we are to survive, we've got to be one people. We've got to be one country. We've got to be one nation. If we are to survive,
We've got to stop this acting independent. It's time for us to act and feel as one.
we've got to be one people. We've got to be one country. We've got to be one nation. If we are to survive, we've got to be one people. We've got to be one country. We've got to be one nation. If we are to survive,
I've got to say it is now or never. We can't let this moment get away.
March, go!
we've got to be one people. We've got to be one country. We've got to be one nation. If we are to
Well, George Washington, if something must be done, you're the man to do it. You're the best known citizen of this land, and the most respected. We must have a meeting to talk about the Articles of Confederation, and you must come to it.
I have served my country throughout a long and terrible war. Now I just want to go back to being a farmer as I was before.
You can't go back, George. The country needs you. The country trusts you.
George Washington wouldn't be involved in anything that was bad for our country.
And how about you, Benjamin Franklin? You are one of our most brilliant statesmen.
And one of the oldest, too. Besides, my arthritis is killing me.
Nevertheless, you must come. Besides, the meeting will be held in Philadelphia. You live there. You won't have to go far.
I don't know. I'm in the middle of inventing something new. A long pole with two grasping fingers that can get books off of high shelves. Have you tried it?
Don't talk to me about inventions. If all of us aren't inventors soon, we may not have a country much longer. Gentlemen, we are in a critical moment in our history.
Ready and set.
There's a critical moment in everything. There's a critical moment in fact. There's a critical moment in everything. There's a time to turn when you really have to. We've been called citizens and it may never come again. There's a critical moment in everything. There's a critical moment in fact. There's a critical moment in everything. There's a time when you All we want to do is discuss a few changes in the Articles of Confederation.
The delegates are due to arrive on the second Monday in May 1787.
Although some of them won't show up until months later.
And of course, George Washington is elected the leader of the convention.
James Madison, you should be the secretary. You like to get everything written down.
Thank you. I'll be delighted.
The chair recognizes Governor Edmund Randolph of Virginia. This country's in a bad way, Mr. Washington. We need a totally new constitution and a different form of government.
But what will become our states?
We can never become a nation as long as each state is allowed to pursue its own foreign policy.
We must preserve our states' rights.
We have a strong central government.
Gentlemen, you have been arguing for days now.
The chair recognizes the delegate Pennsylvania Governor Morris.
Gentlemen, the whole human race will be affected by what we do here. All of you must make a choice. A strong central government now or a king down the road. What will it be? Gentlemen, will we create a constitution?
Yes!
We're writing the Constitution. We're writing the Constitution. We're writing the Constitution. We will do it. We will try it. If we get some peace and quiet. Quiet! 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 We're writing the Constitution. We're writing the Constitution. We're writing the Constitution. We can't be brilliant, can't be wise, and get bitten by these flies. Flies! 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 We're writing the Constitution. We're writing the Constitution. We're writing the Constitution. It's as hot as it can get. All we do is sit and sweat. Sweat! 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 We're writing the Constitution. We're writing the Constitution. We're writing the Constitution. We must keep secret what we do. Not a word must come from you or you or you or you or you or you. We're writing the Constitution. 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 We're writing the Constitution.
It is hot in Philadelphia, the hottest summer on record. And there seems to be blue butterflies everywhere. Ouch!
The cobblestones on the street make so much noise when the carriages pass that we have to put straw down to muffle the sound. We keep the windows closed and the cars stand in front of the locked doors. We want seats to be free to speak our minds. And to change them too, without having to explain every little thing to the people back home. That includes our wives and families. We can't even write to tell them about what's going on. So we talk and argue, talk and argue some more. We shout and bang our fists at the tables.
Votes in the legislature should be based on the number of people in a state.
Outrageous! That'll give all the power to the largest state.
There should be an equal number of votes for every state.
Then what happens to majority rules?
Indeed, why should Delaware with 59,000 people have the same votes as Virginia with 700,000 people? Because I don't trust that gentleman from Virginia to act in the best interest of Delaware.
And so it goes, argument and more argument, and finally compromise.
Ready and go.
It's a tick that makes a bargain go. It's a simple fact that everyone should know. All states created here so share the same but one and all. No, that's undone. It's a give and take that makes the bargain go. It's a simple fact that everyone should know. If you give me a thing or two, then I will do the same for you. Let's get it done, we just wait and figure out some future dates. It's a give and take that makes the bargain go.
One by one, questions come up and are answered, or are not. Where will our government be located?
Should we allow foreigners to be members of Congress?
How will new states join the Union? There must be no child lords or dukes in this country. Then what should a new executive be called? How long should he hold office? What about a Bill of Rights?
What about a freedom of speech? Freedom of religion? Trial by the jury? It says none of those in the Constitution.
We can't have everything written down. We must provide the changes in the future. There will be amendments. Finally, the mark is done and the Constitution lies before. Inscribed on parchment for the first time.
Okay, we the people.
We the people of the United States
people. We the people. Oh, we the people.
I confess that there are several parts of this Constitution of which I do not approve. Still, I agree to it with all its faults. I agree to it because it is the best that we can do. We must all work together to write this Constitution. And so I ask each of you to put your name to this document.
Franklin does like to hear himself talk.
September 17th, 1787. It is a day I will never forget. This day, 39 of our 12 states have signed the Constitution of the United States of America. Now it is up to the rest of the country to ratify it, if they will. We have done something special here today. The best that we can do, George. The best that we can do.
Audience, please join us in singing this last song. Here we go. Stand up, guys. Ready, and go.
50 nifty United States from 13 original colonies. Shout 'em, scout 'em, tell 'em all about it. One by one living in the states. Each original state contributes a colony that is great. Each original state deserves a bow. We salute them now. 50 nifty United States from
How about these fourth graders? All right, we're going to quickly have people stand up and take a bow for their efforts in learning about the Constitution. Let's have all the people who were a delegate from a state, please stand up. All the people who were a delegate from a state. Quick question. What was the first state to ratify the United States Constitution? Lucas?
Delaware.
Delaware. Yep, fabulous. All right, let's have a nice round of hand for all the delegates. Magnificent. We have Matthew Rhines doing the vocal solo. Rhea doing a paragraph in the beginning. Fabulous. Julie did a vocal solo. Karenita did a vocal solo. Bella did a vocal solo. Proud of all you guys. Fabulous. All right, Alexander Hamilton was played by Mr. Alex Bailey, namesake. No coincidences in the universe. Next, we have Miko, who played Morris, Governor Morris, who lived right down the street from us. His old mansion is right down Route 73 towards Collegeville. And we have two people. The kids decided to do this. We had two people play George Washington. How about a big hand for? This is Jacob and Jolie. Great job, guys. Proud of you. All right, we have Ian playing the part of James Madison. Ryan playing the part of Randolph. We had two people play Benjamin Franklin. We had Kira and Aaron. And Thomas was our official document bearer. All right, everybody stand up for one last round of applause. Super proud of you guys. Way to go. Good learning.